Hey, my name's Alyssa Wilkie. I just got back last week from a YoungLife Camp called Carolina Point. It's in Brevard, North Carolina. My name is Amelia. Most of you probably know me. I went to YoungLife Camp at Carolina Point. I didn't really have a lot of expectations because it was so last minute. I got asked the week before we actually took off because we didn't have enough people. And honestly, I wasn't really looking forward to it until the end of the week. It never hit me. My expectation going into camp was, I wouldn't say it's roughing it because I was basing it off of other camp experiences I've been on, but it's not really comfortable. Whenever I've gone to other camps, I find myself like wanting to go home at some point and being like missing my bed and my dogs. But whenever I went to Carolina Point, that actually wasn't the case. I got there and it was just, we got out of the cars and these people immediately like ran up to us and are grabbing our bags and shaking our hands, which it's strange because you don't really shake people's hands that often. And they were all over us and like embracing us, wanting to like know our names and where we were from. And so that was my expectation. I thought it was going to be so like icky in a way, not icky, but I thought it was going to be icky and I wouldn't want to be there. But instead it was just like, I didn't even have time to think about it. Like it was just like, woo, okay, everyone loves me. But the part where I saw God the most was probably when our group did all the nature activities. So we ziplined on a zip line that was about a half a mile long, and we ziplined from one mountain to the other, and it was just amazing to see all of God's creation. And I bet if we would look a little bit closer, we could have saw black bears. I feel like the strongest place that I saw God this week was in our cabin time after we went to club. And club was a place where we had a speaker and he would have his whole spiel and read some lessons and relate it to like modern day problems and just things that like the normal kid goes through. And while they were very touching, it was just very helpful to go back into our cabin and talk with our leader about that, because you can't really have that one-on-one with the speaker because there's 70 kids in a room. But so going back and talking about that was just very helpful, and I feel like I saw God in that moment because we weren't just talking about what we discussed in club. We also went on into like big problems that we were just struggling with and stuff we were curious about. So I feel like I saw God whenever we were just like openly communicating about what we're getting out of lessons and like where we're at. There were a couple other fun activities. Just the workers made it incredible because they are so sweet and so nice to us, and I don't think I've had a bad experience with the workers there. But overall, the camp really just brought us closer together. We also made new friends who went with the Rutherford County YoungLife group, and now I have more friends from different schools in the county. And another place I saw God was probably the say-so that they had at the end of the week. There is a verse in the Bible, can't tell you which one, but it's a verse in there, and it says something about let those who follow Christ say so, or something like that. And so at the end of the week, they ask everyone who's had like this, like they feel like they've been touched by God, or they've had a new relationship, or they've found God that week, to stand up and say so. And immediately there were probably like 50 kids that stood up. It's very powerful knowing that I've been raised in this Christian home in the same church my whole life, and I've known all these people who are willing to walk that road with me, and there's just all of these people finding that now. And it just kind of like puts things into perspective, because like what's been my whole life is like their like could be like their milestone like going forward, which is just really cool. Thank you to my church family that has always been there and supported me through any decision that I've made. and has helped me become who I am today. Now that I'm about to graduate high school, I've known most of you my whole life because I've always came to Salem, and I just want to say thank you so much for being very supportive in my life. It's really great being like raised in the Salem family where they've been there my whole life. Because even if I were to like question my faith or whatever, there's people around me pulling me back into that. But it's even better going to camp and seeing all of those people who haven't known God their whole life, turning to Him and falling in love with Him. It's just inspiring because, you know, a lot of people my age, once they're raised in a church their whole life, they eventually start to burn out. That spark starts to like go out, and just seeing other people fall in love with God is just inspiring for, like me. I feel like it's inspiring for me to keep going in my relationship.